Hello everyone, GameGoddessFee here. Alright, we are back tonight with more Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. I have my boy. Yes, Pluminator. We're gonna go ahead with the trial today. Hope you all are having a wonderful Friday. It's the weekend, you guys. Yeah. I've been off for the past 2 days, so it took me a little spring break, and a much needed spring break. Ain't that right, Plum? Me and Plum was on spring break, so he had 2 more days than me. But anyway, but yeah, I guess we'll continue with the story. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And a subscribe if you would like. I'd appreciate that too. All right. So we're Ace Attorney. Phoenix Wright. You didn't want me to say Phoenix Wright.
It's not his game. It's not his
But
game.
it was on the title. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies, the Monstrous Turnabout. We're on episode 2 in the trial day 1. You ready?
No!
We're not ready.
This is not ready!
Well, let's switch games then if he's not ready, y'all. You alright?
Nope.
April 18th, 9:15 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby, number 3.
You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy ever since we got here.
I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all.
Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena!
Didn't you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices?
I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters.
Are you scaring the daylights out of me?
No, I find that shouting, "I'm fine!" in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Courts of Steel voice workout, and a must before every trial.
You want me to shout here?
That's right. Here, I'll go first, then you try. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine!
All right, I'm Athena Sykes, and I'm fine. I think that actually worked.
I thought it might help. Always works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time.
I see, a proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse?
The point is to relieve stress. I get totally exhausted. What's with all the racket, you two?
Look at Phoenix. You say Phoenix?
The bum shows his face. Look at him. Look at him.
You done finally showed up, huh?
Yeah, finally showed up.
All right, Phoenix.
Ah, Mr. Right. Just a little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Wait, oh, this? I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back. That's all.
He don't have it back on here?
This is before he got it back. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all? That's huge news. But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. But we can talk about that another time. Oh, fair. Inquiring minds want to know. Wow. I'm so used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case?
He had to dust it off, y'all. It was in the
Yeah,
back
to
of the
dust it off.
closet. Yeah.
He's like, wow, it's been a long time.
It had a lot of dust on it.
I got iron this dog too. Yeah, he's serving time. But before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology. That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he can make even the most stalwart defendant confess. Psychology in the courtroom? Been hearing a lot about that lately. So, he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also said he'll cut you down if you talk too much. I knew he was gonna be bad news. It's probably just hyperbole. At least, I hope for your sake. Wait, so it's true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Yikes! I better tone down my courts of steel, too. So, are you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Right, but I'm fine! I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck! Thanks!
Okay, let's do this.
The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client, seek the truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Tinma. Here comes justice! You was so surprised to see Hobo Phoenix in 3D. I was like, what kind of junk?
It did look strange. April 18th, 9:30 a.m. District Courtroom number 4. What? Court normally starts at 10 o'clock.
It's start at 10. What they doing?
Right.
All rise.
Day 1 court is now in session. Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tinma.
Sorry. Apollo Justice, defense team Leia, is right.
Who? There we go.
Yeah, we said that. Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor.
Hello, but you guys are interrupting my RMU stream. Oh, really?
RMU.
Well, you can always go back and watch him. Anyway, I know that big booming voice anywhere, as chipper as ever. Hey, Mr. Justice. But who is the young lady next to you? I'm Athena Sykes, Mr. Justice. Mr. Justice is junior partner and fresh out of law school. Well now, full of beans too, eh? Excellent. Makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. It appears the prosecution is not ready yet.
Never fear, for I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak.
Prison? Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot that. He is currently serving time.
Yeah.
Well, they could bring Godot back then.
Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate. But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
See, they did that for him. They could have just brought back Godot.
Godot dead, Mama. I'm sorry. He died in
Whatever.
prison. He's dead. He said he had like 2 months to live, tops. He died, bro. As soon as they put him in the cell, he dropped dead. It's over for my boy, Mama.
Really? Okay.
He got poisoned. Just kidding.
Mm-hmm. You can't see red anyway.
Who's that with his back to us over there?
That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Is the prosecution ready?
Enough jabbering. Get on with it already.
Oh, of course, forgive me.
Oh, why are all the people related to this case so scary?
Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, please. Oh, what's the matter?
Must we continue to fritter away time like this? It is all right there in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless.
Pointless? Well...
Looks like the cat, or in this case, the prosecutor has the judge's tongue.
But we need an opening statement as an overview of the case at hand.
Well then, your baldness. If it's so very important, why don't you do the honors?
Who? Me?
There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. And then decide they no longer want them once it's theirs. A selfish old idiot.
Huh? Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement?
Old doters such as you are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren, or is it great-grandchildren?
All these years, I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. He looked like a caliber from Yu-Gi-Oh! Only y'all know those. I did look at it a little bit. I don't know who that is. But I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace.
What? He's actually fell for that?
That must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about. The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Kyubi, alderman of Nine Tails Vale. And the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, is accused of his murder.
And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested?
His prints were on the murder weapon. Plus, he had a motive, the elimination of the biggest roadblock to the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary of the potential suspects both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive.
So, in a nutshell,
I'd have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible.
Bravo, your baldness. Your years of experience shine bright like your head.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere. He's playing Simon Says with the judge. Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
I am the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here.
I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that.
It would seem that I have been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what?
What did he do? They say he murdered somebody. Will they explain this?
Maybe. I ain't played the game. Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their days around. Even Blackquill here. Fulbright, I said his name. His name right here, right? Fulbright, save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement. Ha ha ha! That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you.
Security Blackquill doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright.
Well, you know what they say. Ignorance is bliss.
So that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackquill. He's so oblivious. Now, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright.
You got it. But first, I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail.
Witness testimony about the murder.
Alderman Kyubi was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon.
Do they supposed to show him the defendant?
Wait, who?
The defendant.
The evidence?
Defendant.
Defendant?
You know,
What you mean?
never mind. Go ahead.
What you talking about?
Like they never showed the defendant in this trial.
Yes, it is. It's the mayor.
Did they show him?
Yes.
When?
Go to the court record.
No, I'm saying like right now. While we playing right now, did they show him? Anyway, let's
I
go.
don't get what you're talking about. Well, at that time, Alderman Kyubi was asleep from a drug he unwillingly ingested. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed the statue and struck back. Alderman Kyubi had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug? That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it.
Kyubi's autopsy report added to the court records. Really?
Kyubi.
Kyubi's
Kyubi.
cause of death stabbed with a spear. Estimated time of death around 3:20 p.m. The victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible?
Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast! Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? I mean, what's that? Like the samurai... Oh my god. Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former pro wrestler I met in the clink. Oh no, it still sounds a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. I didn't sign up for this.
You don't have no blade.
And so your life is spared. For now. Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. Aha! My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused's prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence when you agree your baldness.
The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute.
He has the judge leaning towards a guilty verdict, and the trial's just barely begun. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Tinmatal from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman.
The mayor's a strange one, all right. I heard he went to a blood drive, but instead of donating, he made a withdrawal.
There will be no gossiping in the court.
Your baldness. Please take a gander at these charms plastered across his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tinmataro. Then again, perhaps he is already under the demon's spell. Behold! The lunatic appears poised to launch at you at any moment.
Hold it!
The rumors and quirks of Mayor Thinma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think. Come to think of it, such things don't seem irrelevant to the case, do they? The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud.
Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here.
Phew, thanks for that lifeline, Athena.
Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hands. The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objections. Objections.
Objections? This guy really is bad news.
In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled, whatever, was sort of weapon that he used against his attacker.
None other than this statue right here.
It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle.
Two yokai to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and on the other, Tinmataro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case was rendered in art.
Fox and Demon added to the Fox and Demon statue updated in the court record. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor. The mayor's blood was found on it, but no prints could be lifted. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. I go Tinmatata.
Tinmatata. Again, Tinmatata.
Cross-examination about the murder. Alderman Fulbright. I said Alderman Fulbright. Alderman Kyobi was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall.
Hold it!
So, those weapons on the wall of the Fox Chamber, I presume those are real? Don't you think keeping real weapons around like that is rather dangerous?
No matter what he collected, the alderman insisted it be the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon's club in his possession. Apparently, one of his ancestors claimed it after defeating a demon in battle.
What? That's gotta be an old wives' tale.
Ha ha ha! The alderman had pure, unadulterated justice flowing in his veins. Whatever he did it right. We've lost a real champion of justice in his death.
Nothing but claptrap and balderdash if you ask me. Now stop your bleeding and tell us about the weapon.
Your wish is my command!
The fingerprints of the defendant, Jamie and Tenma, were found on the murder weapon.
Hold it!
It doesn't make sense if you think about it. Prints could be easily wiped off.
You do have a point there.
I'd venture to say he did not wipe off the prints because he could not.
What do you mean?
What's up, Yeety? What's going on?
Hello!
Looks like he wants you to figure that out. Well, don't just stand there. Show him who's boss.
I'm totally lost.
So why don't you just tell me the answer already?
I don't think he saw that plea for help.
You feeling alright, kid? Running a fever, perhaps? I wish trials came with a reset button.
Well, the specifics may yet come to light. Please proceed, Detective Fulbright. At the time, Alderman Koyubi was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested.
Hold it!
Come to think of it, a coffee cup was found on the floor.
Was the sedative in his coffee? Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup.
And that is why he was out cold. That is, until he leapt to his feet upon being impaled by the mayor.
What an awful way to wake up.
A rather stimulating eye-opener if you ask me. I too would have risen for the attack.
Wait, no, wait.
I too would have risen to the attack, for the die in battle is the samurai way. Paradise awaits fallen heroes, but that hole in the stomach wouldn't make eating a challenge.
Prosecutor Blackwell, please! Those morbid jokes of yours have no place in court.
Says the jester in Detective Skies.
Moving right along? That's you.
Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab.
Hold it!
So the alderman was drugged because he was really strong?
Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? I'm surprised this spear even managed to pierce that armor-like musculature. I admit, I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his.
Well, he did look pretty buff, even with that suit he had on. Quite a difference when compared with a yellow belly like you.
Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore?
Really, Yeety, really? Yeah. Yeah, and the color's all wrong too. Ooh, I know. How about a squishy red tomato?
I moved you to strike both of your comments from the record.
Yeah, like Yeety's. Mr. Justice's character is not the issue here. Now, let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular alderman was impaled.
Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot.
But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back.
Hold it!
Could he really have attacked his attacker after being impaled with that huge spear?
Absolutely! After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged, then speared, was answered with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don his superhero guise in times of need.
Objection!
You need to lay off the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here. Setting aside the half-wit slice of fancy, the fact is this.
I got to get on y'all when y'all get home tonight.
The court-ordered post-mortem concluded the victim moved after a skewering. So he found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh?
Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds airtight. No wonder he's so confident.
No, he only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked.
Alderman Kyubi was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. This we already said this, didn't we?
Yep.
I have to find the contradictions.
The contradictions!
The fingerprints of the defendant Damien Tima were found on the murder weapon. What is wrong with you?
You don't know.
Both of them two statements could have been wrong. Well, Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab.
Yep, he did that. You're right.
Really, but the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back.
Alright, Mama, imagine this. You just woke up, right? You just woke up. You kind of got scratched like your light, like you got scratch your thigh because it's in the morning. You got that weird scratchy feeling, but then you wake up and you got stabbed, and you look up and there's some dude with some like random stupid paper on his face, and you look stupid. What do? What do you do? Do you drop kick him?
Yeah.
Drop kick him? Okay, but then that opens the wound with the spear in it.
Now how he get up with that spear in him?
Alright, and then he walked back. He walked back after getting speared, and then laid on the table, and then put the spear back in.
Then he was already asleep. He was already well, they said it woke him up.
Okay, but go back to the statue.
And I was gonna say, cause the statue doesn't have any prints. What?
Objection!
He was wrong. Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him. But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory.
It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory.
Kyubi fought him unarmed. He's no coward. He said run them hands.
Really, dude? It's not broken, or there's no fingerprints. I picked it because there was no fingerprints. Am I right?
She lost us the case, y'all. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves.
Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed.
If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints.
Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? Oh! This can't be happening! Did I arrest the wrong man?
You did it, Apollo! You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse!
Well, it's just one point in our favor.
Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman?
Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor.
You mean there was a third party there in the Fox chamber?
Exactly! And this could be the big break we've been looking for!
There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion?
The least you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. It'll take 4 more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. A whelp such as you has no hope against my superior swordsmanship.
A sword.
This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell. Humph. There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? Hone your mind, boy. Why was the blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle, and you shall see the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. Now let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used?
By Kyubi as a head covering?
Was it his do-rag? It was his do-rag.
To wipe up blood, to wrap the statue. Did he have something on his head? He didn't have nothing on his head in the crime photo. Do they have a picture of them before? Oh, I forgot the opening statement or the opening in this trial. Did he have something on his head?
Nope.
Anyway, it's to wipe up blood.
Nope.
What you mean?
That's not enough cranberry juice on the towel to wipe it up.
Well, it was his head covering.
No.
To wrap the statue?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
That's the right answer?
Yes, I don't like this case. Maybe Alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth? In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Ah! Precisely. Bully for you, boy. Ah, it was nothing.
Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution.
I did? I did! Right. That's a statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints is as plain as day. But this also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Oops. Ugh!
Fox and Demon statue updated in the court record. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor wrapped in a large cloth. 2 pages. What's the 2 pages?
2 pages. Now, do you see how dull your mind is? I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. A particularly frightening inmate once told me that. He always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore.
Samurai sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me.
Actually, He was working in the prison kitchen at the time.
Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef?
It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all.
I was kinda attached to that hole. Now what?
Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it?
Why didn't I think of that? Anyone could have not left prints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please, illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady.
There's only one answer. The real killer.
Prove the existence of this real killer then. What evidence have you?
Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right.
Athena, are you sure about this?
Borrow your words, Apollo. I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks allegedly from a yokai were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with the statue. Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed that alderman? That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena! You just lost what little credibility we had left!
So sorry. I guess I got carried away. Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense.
Sorry, Your Honor. It's just that this kid's still, well, a kid.
Ouch! You meanie, I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright. So is this court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai as you put it?
No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication.
The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman.
Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that?
Why indeed?
Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is.
Ouch!
This, I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright.
He already looking at it. And he in the gallery?
Yep.
Boy, Fulbright, explain this to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks.
What? You mean you can explain all that? Ha ha ha! Our investigative prowess is without equal! I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession.
Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and track.
Feathers and track.
Witness testimony. What's that? Witness testimony? Feathers and tracks.
The entire case centers around one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters. So he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. Those feathers and tracks struck the villagers' fears? Absolutely! He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds.
Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenma Taro, that is.
Tenma who?
Tenma Taro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon. And thus, were they blinded to other more plausible explanations.
Hold it!
Hold on for a second, before we start letting our imaginations run wild. Isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect?
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself.
On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at Kyubi Manor. And as part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenma Taro. Obviously, this person is a much more likely suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
Dullard, you were playing right into the killer's mind games. What? Listen here, the feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believed the murder to be the work of the real Tenma Taro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenma Taro suit is the killer. Ah! The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect the blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman. And thus, our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fulbright! Right! It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The amazing Ninetales was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known max wrestlers and the hometown favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of the injustice.
But do the people of Ninetales really believe a yokai is behind the crime?
Yokai signs are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds.
Just so, a particularly civil-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest prey.
Don't say, was this inmate a con artist?
No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually feel sorry for the poor chap. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey?
Yes, well, now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination. Cross-examination. Feathers and tracks. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger.
Municipal? Detective Fulbright, is the anti-merger movement really that strong? Oh, absolutely! They parade around in yokai costumes shouting, "Down with Mayor Tenma!" And just the other day, they stormed Tenma City Hall, claiming it was a den of vipers. January 6th. Wait.
January 6th, huh?
But when the accused shows his face, the angry mob scattered like leaves upon an autumn wind. For you see, lowly yokai are no match for Tenma Taro, the dark lord of their kind.
Wait, are the villagers scared of Mayor Tenma or Tenma Tora? Taro. What's his name?
Tenma Taro.
Tenma Taro. I'm confused.
I think he means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about the guy.
Detective Fulbright? Why do you suppose the defendant would commit such an act? Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters.
Hold it!
The amazing Ninetales? No one knows his true identity, right? That's right! And he was a lone wolf, or in other words, he didn't belong to a wrestling federation. He appeared like a shooting star, defeating one Tenma Town wrestler after another.
You said WCW.
And before anyone knew it, he was champion.
Like the samurai of yore, surrounded thick with enemies, he cut them down one by one. It was a complete and utter loss of faith for Tenma Pro Wrestling.
He was amazing! If there was a real superhero, it would be him. I dream of becoming a true champion of justice like him someday.
I bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. He could even team up with Prosecutor Blackquill.
A police detective and a prisoner in chains? You know, I think people would actually pay to see that. I know I would. So you do understand the greatness that is the amazing Nine Tails.
So he stoked the village's sphere by fabricating a monster.
Hold it!
Did the murder and yokai evidence really stoke the villagers' fears?
Absolutely! It had an immediate effect! The presumed return of the dreaded Tenma Taro has them shaking in their boots!
Oh my, is it really that bad?
That superstitious lot. It's as if a Jack the Ripper has been set loose in their village. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus.
I see, that's a very persuasive argument.
The mere thought of his honor buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's words makes me want to spark my own exodus out of the courtroom right about now. So you see, there can be only one reason why anyone would plant those feathers and tracks.
The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer.
Hold it!
But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Kyubi?
Excellent point.
It is, isn't it? So your honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killing was on the spur of the moment.
You're saying it wasn't premeditated?
From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery.
A startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that?
Alderman Kyubi's secret identity.
Apollo! I think Prosecutor Blackquill has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder?
This is not good!
This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Nine Tails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene.
Oh my, but why would it have been there?
The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more?
Well, could it really be?
Your baldness has an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Kyubi, was the amazing Nine Tails! And the mayor's discovery of this fact was his motive for murder!
They lost me right there.
How you give up? No!
Hold on, they're saying that the Alderman was a Nine Tails.
No, Rex Kyubi, the victim, was the Nine Tails.
And he the Alderman?
Yes, they look the exact same. How is he not seeing the
Nah, I'm
parallel?
saying they saying that he is Ninetales, right?
Yes.
And they're saying that the defendant found that out.
Yes. And he murdered him.
Why?
Because he was the, basically he was like the mascot of the anti-merger movement.
Anyway, order. What a shocking development. A model clearer than crystal clear.
After some people.
What do we do now, Apollo? Whatever.
I didn't think they tied the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. At last, we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your baldness?
I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement.
Very astute of you, your baldness. Right, now take a look at this! If you value your dearest life, you will merge Ninetales with Tenma Town. This blackmail letter was found in Alderman Kyuubi's pocket! What? At present, the Alderman's wife was in the hospital. And that letter is clear evidence the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life.
Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the alderman's, death, murder?
You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder? And planted it into the alderman's pocket?
It's possible, but we don't have any proof that's what happened.
Talk about being up the creek without a paddle.
Blackmail letter added to the court record. A threatening letter discovered in one of the alderman's Kyuubi's pockets.
Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he just left after planting the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by his son's decision to kill the amazing Ninetales.
So it was the amazing Ninetales counterattack that brought the entire crime to light.
Wait a sec. Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planting the yokai evidence. And that the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that? Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks. Hard to believe that a stiff, humorless man like the mayor could be behind such a stunt.
I was supposed to cross-examine Wilson.
Yo.
Oh, we have to do something, Apollo, before they pin it all on the mayor.
Then we're going to need to prove that Mayor Tenma didn't plant that yokai stuff.
How are we supposed to do that?
We don't, Athena. We quit. Call Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright.
Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks.
Hold it!
So let me get this straight. You believe the mayor planted the yokai evidence before the murder, not after? Absolutely! And then he was knocked out cold by the alderman's last punch. He wouldn't have had a chance to plant the evidence after that. Something's not right here. Or to believe that stiff... Yeah, we already read this. My head, my forehead.
Humorless man like the mayor could be behind such a stunt.
Is my forehead really that big?
Oh, we have to do something, Apollo, before they pin it all on the mayor.
Tired of talking about my forehead.
Then we're going to need to prove that the Mayor Tenma didn't plant that yokai stuff. How are we supposed to do that, Apollo?
Are we supposed to do
Can you
that,
make this
Apollo?
go faster?
I don't think so.
The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer.
Yo, yokai watch. Yokai all everywhere. Giving you pumps, messing up your head. Or how does that go again? They trip you up, give you a flat tire, and make your socks go missing in the dryer. Yokai make
What you talking about?
Everywhere. You may not even
Male
believe
Tim,
that they're.
sleeping on
But let
them.
me introduce you to my friend. He's found a good way to connect with him. He's got a yokai watch. He's gonna build a
The blood would have been over the feathers. What is wrong with you? Wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Should I present this?
yeah.
Objection!
Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair.
What's this? You dare question my justice again?
Yes, and I'm gonna prove it to you. Take a look at this photo.
This is the crime scene photo. And just what does this prove?
It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted.
But I already told you they were planted before the murder.
The defendant planted the yokai evidence, then was knocked out while killing his victim. But that would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the crime scene.
Where you looking? Where you looking? Where you looking?
I'm looking right here. And the footsteps when he have smeared all of that.
I guess. Footsteps.
Take that!
Weren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice?
Yes, see how the feathers are on top of the blood and the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder.
Then the mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman.
But you said it yourself, the mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene.
Oh, there must be some mistake.
The Apollo pointing at him. Order, order.
Where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you?
Ha 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 ha!
Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you.
You do? But how? Was my vaunted sense of justice really just half baked?
He's taking this really hard. Mr. Justice? What is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have?
I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the promised testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness, Jinxie Tenma, saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tenma Taro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks.
Will somebody please say something?
The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means.
You dare to mock this court of justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy! Your baldness. It appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion.
Hold it!
Paulo, think of something quick. before you are held in a contempt of court.
What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please, hear me out.
Very well, Mr. Justice. I'm all ears. But you had better explain yourself well. Who was this yokai you were talking about?
It's all in the statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro after she discovered the crime scene and called the police. She came around the corner in the hall. It was around here that she saw Tenma Taro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise.
What?
How incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before? The defense just proved there was someone else. So the mirror, oh wait, was it all a setup? The prosecutor is a convicted felon after all.
Oh, the momentum is shifted in our favor.
Good. Now let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. Are you implying there's a problem with my claim? Consider this. If that yokai impersonator had indeed fled toward the foyer, that idiot and that fop would have seen him. Idiot and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and LaBelle. Now that you mention it. Both Phineas Filch and Florence LaBelle were in the foyer at the time. But they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination? Ugh, why didn't those two see the Tenma Taro impersonator pass by?
Oh, we asked them ourselves.
I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of Kyubi Manor, to the stand. I just know he must have seen something.
I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackquill. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby.
I knew that Tanuki was a rare find. But when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with him as you will. Did you just say captured? No, wait, I don't want to know.
Very well then, bailiff. Please go wake Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand.
Mr. Filch, baby, I'm up here.
I thought they was gonna save it for the next one. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please?
Name's Filch. Phineas Filch, caretaker of Kyubi Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. Just a little something I thought you might like.
Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch.
Oh, it's those shoes again.
Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright?
Don't tell me Filch stole them again. They're all yours, your honorship, sir.
What? But they seem awfully expensive.
Yep, too expensive for me. But I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like your honorship.
It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts.
Aw, ethics schmectics. Just take them if you want them. Polish them up real nice for you, too.
I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Taru in the foyer after the murder.
Trying to prop the judge.
Witness testimony. Guarding the foyer.
At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guest. I was still in my office keeping the good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree. That yokai you keep jabbering on about was but a phantom of a little girl's dreams.
So, you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Taro?
Yup, was gone the whole time. That's the truth, the holy truth, and nothing but the truth. And Taro? Bah, you don't really believe in all that yokai stuff. I certainly don't.
My bracelet, it's...
Something's the matter, Apollo?
My bracelet keeps squeezing my arm.
Really? So you think Mr. Filch has been fibbing to us?
I wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in on a tail, some sort of nervous habit.
Ah! What in the... What's a hawk doing in here?
Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka.
Tanker.
He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact.
He doesn't live with you, in jail.
Whoever heard of a courthouse bird? Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. And that queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard.
This isn't some sort of trick or... Ah! I won't be able to spot squat like this.
You can have him removed.
What's going on around here? Run for the hills!
No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Somebody help.
Oh, he's merely having a bit of a sport. He won't harm you.
In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, you will ensure your feathered friend is properly fed. Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way.
We'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Taro there, Filch would have seen him. Well, we'll just have to put our faith in Jinxie's statement for now.
Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination.
You just standing with the bird on his head.
Cross-examination guarding the foyer. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. Kyubi asked.
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, why did Alderman Kyubi have you handle guard duty?
Guess he trusts me. I am the mayor's caretaker after all.
So you took said guard duty seriously?
Let me tell you something about me. Yipes!
Listen here, you little tanuki. Get straight to the point and be quick about it. The court wishes to hear what you did or didn't see in the foyer, and not else.
Yes, of course, sir. Right away, sir.
Blackwell's got him completely under his thumb.
Like I said, I was going to foyer entrance that day.
I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guests.
Hold it!
So no one could get to him? Sounds like security was pretty tight. That's 'cause there's always lots of sneaks and thieves around festival time. And the solution was to entrust the man of security to a thief? That's not even funny.
Maybe it's a matter of stopping thieves by hiring one. After all, it takes one to know one.
Oh no, it seems more like letting the fox go at the hen house to me.
So the witness testifies that he took his guard duty seriously.
Yes, sir, your honorship, sir.
I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened around 3 p.m.
Hold it!
Did you really keep an eye on the foyer the entire time? Ugh, poor old Filcher. Been working hard my whole life. Only to be smeared by some greenhorn in his fancy smashy suit and silly haircut. Ah! Sorry, Mr. Blackwell, sir. Didn't mean to get off subject there. Sheesh. Blackwell didn't even say anything. To answer your question, yes, I kept an eye on both of them. In fact, on the foyer.
But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. No siree.
Hold it!
Could you describe to the court who you would consider fishy looking? Some are all fidgety and shifty like, you know, like they're about to steal something. He just described himself.
I wonder why Mr. Filch didn't see Tim Mataro.
Maybe Jinxie only thinks she saw Tin Matamo, or maybe
Mr. Filch is fibbing.
And if he's fibbing, we might be able to spot a contradiction in his testimony.
All right, at the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer.
Rey Mysterio!
Let me see. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened at round 3.
That's when WrestleMania was on.
He was looking at TV, was he? Yeah, he was watching wrestling. I think on this statement,
They should have had Mr. Right in the back with them other folks. That would have been funny.
talking about just looking in the courtroom.
Yeah. It was a total disaster. Rey Mysterio got a mask and they did him dating.
Objection!
Don't fib to the court like that, Mr. Filch. Hey, it ain't right to bushwhack a fella like that.
There was his TV program and a wrestling match at 3 o'clock.
Unfortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're fibbing. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled, something you'd never miss. Knock! I didn't watch that one. No siree. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. It was you, right? Yipes! Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, "It was a complete disaster." So, do you admit to slacking off? You can't trick me with your Rudy-doo lawyer talk. I'm one of them professional types too. I can do double duty watching TV in the foyer at the same time. The only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is professional thief.
Mr. Justice, you will have this court believe the witness was slacking off?
That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV in the foyer at the same time. But that's nothing but a bald-faced fib.
Bald, you say? I'm not the one who's fibbing. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice? And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Filch is fibbing about watching TV and the foyer simultaneously. Now prove it.
It's over. We lost.
What you mean?
I don't know.
That TV program, was it? Hold on.
No. This TV show is good. This TV.
The TV right there, and the TV is faced away from the foyer.
Yep. Kind of like that. Wait, let me show.
Take that!
Please take a look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Filch has eyes where his right ear should be, I think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time.
Why, yes, someone watching TV there can possibly see the entrance.
Exactly, and that means Mr. Filch. You were slacking off and were not watching the foyer as you claim. Yikes! The cat's out of the... Wait, the bag's out of the cat? I mean the other way around. Look at the craze.
Order, order, order. But Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch's less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case?
It's very relevant, because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really could have been a Tenmataro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection!
What now? Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the foyer entrance covered. What are you talking about? This. Not a mind reader. Ah! Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hard at work. Right, Tanuki?
Hey, when you're watching wrestling and everything. Anyway.
They were? I mean, yes! Yes, they were! But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't? My eyes might have been lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have heard anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on them. Creak, creak, creak. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So, you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by? Yep, my ears were working full time. So who's the fibber now, you no good shyster? A fibbing thief calling me a shyster? This has to be the low point of my fledgling career. Gotta hand it to you, Mr. Blackquill, sir. You really are something else. I mean, you don't miss a thing. And them bags under your eyes, they're darker than mine. Fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you fib to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu. Yikes! Please don't eat me, Mr. Taka, sir!
The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful bird attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly.
Ooh.
Witness testimony. There is working overtime.
It's true. I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes might have been slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime. The floor there is all creaky squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by. So you see, there wasn't no Tenmataro in the foyer. Superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Understand? A simple rational explanation is best. Forget yokai demons and such. We must use common sense. For lacking that, our entire world will be put upside down. Says the convict prosecutor who is totally a sign of the end times for the legal world. And besides, if there were any yokai roaming about, I'd nab them and sell them to the zoo.
I wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things.
That seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns.
But if we can't prove she saw Tenmataro, the mayor's sure to be convicted.
Then we'd better hope my guns fire bullets, not BBs.
The defense may cross-examine the witness. Cross-examination. Here's working overtime. It's true, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV.
Hold it!
You are paid for your work, aren't you? So how do you justify watching TV on the job? But it ain't easy being me. I mean, I can't watch TV when we have visitors, and there's no way to record stuff. Sorry, am I supposed to be consoling you over your first world problems?
If those are his only problems, he should consider himself lucky.
I guess pro wrestling's serious business to Mr. Filch.
Eyes might have been slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime.
Hold it!
You fibbed earlier about taking your guard duty seriously, didn't you? Oh, that? Ain't no harm in bending the truth a little, right? Listen to me, you little tanuki. Fib again, and Taka shall feast upon that forked tongue of yours. Yikes! Sorry, just let me keep my tongue. At least leave it in until we get the truth out of him. In any case, you were negligent in your duties, were you not? Yes, sir, I was, sir, but it ain't like that.
The floor there is all creaky, squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by.
Hold it!
So you have pretty good ears, Mr. Filch. As good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing to hurt a creaky floor. Plus, that Tenmataro makes a sound when it goes by. It's like a jingle jangle. Jingle jangle? How does he do that? It's that staff of his. That's what jingle jangles.
What's he talking about, Apollo?
Beats me, but I guess Tenmataro has a staff that makes noise.
To think of it, didn't Jinxie missing something like that too? He says he saw Tenmataro holding a staff-like object that made a jangly sound.
I guess that's the source of the noise then.
Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Filch says Tenmataro jingle jangles. Would you consider that vital information?
Jingle, 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 jingle.
Yeah, it's vital.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell. Extremely vital. I request that it be added to his testimony. If Tenmataro was to pass by, his staff would have gone jingle jangle.
Hold it!
So Tenmataro's staff makes a distinctive sound? Yup, like a jingle and a jangle.
Wait, Jinxie said something like that. Something about Tenmataro making a jangly sound.
I think we're missing something here, but I can't quite put a finger on it. Perhaps I should take a look at the court record again. My cherished attorney's badge. Just looking at it makes me feel ready. I wake up and the first thing I do is put it on. It's beautiful, I love it.
Did we press him on that?
Nope, it's not important though.
If Timotoro was to pass by, his staff would have gone jingle jangle.
Jangle jangle. Oh, I wonder what his staff looks like.
What's that staff there?
That's a spear. What's this hand gesture? Did he have the staff in the first place? How did Filch know he had a staff if he never saw him?
He said if he was to pass by, his staff would have gone jingle jangle.
What's staff? What staff is there?
What staff? We don't know.
Does he know?
We don't know. He knew. So what evidence do I catch him on that?
Go back.
Cross-examine?
No, wait. Go back to your court record. Go over. Right. To the right. To the right. Right. Hey. What staff?
You don't have any.
Exactly.
Then what that man talking about?
What is he talking about? Get him.
Objection!
Tenmatoro's staff would make a jangly sound, you say? Well, I'm going to say that your story doesn't add up.
Is there something the defense would like to share with the court?
Mr. Filch, you say that you didn't see Tenmatoro on the day of the incident. Why then did you assume just now that Tenmatoro would be holding a staff? Huh? You see, the Tenmatoro Jinxie saw held a staff in his hands. And she described the sound just like you did, as a kind of jangly sound. Yeah, so he was holding a staff. What's your point?
Objection!
The point is that Tenmatoro doesn't use a staff, not normally. What are you talking about? You see, this is the only known document depicting Tenmatoro. Is there a staff in this picture, Mr. Filch?
You're right, there's no staff, not even a cane or a walking stick.
Ah!
So the question is, why does this witness think Tenmatoro uses a staff?
I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level. Well now, this is getting interesting.
All right, Mr. Justice, it's time to show the court where you're going with this. Please tell the court why Mr. Filch believes Tenmatoro carries a staff.
He's stupid. He saw him.
The scroll is
The
wrong.
scroll's stupid.
He actually saw Tenmatoro.
The Constitution is wrong.
Filch is scatterbrain.
Constitution.
He saw Tenmatoro.
He saw him. Mr. Filch actually saw Tenmatoro right after the crime occurred.
What's up, Dave? You've been on here for an hour and 37 minutes
It's
now.
over.
Been a long time.
That's the only way he could have possibly known about the stuff. Busted again! Bloody, you dubious little... Nah, how'd that feel, Blackwheel? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? Admit it, Mr. Filch. You didn't see Tenmataro that day, didn't you? Well? I'm begging you, please don't make me say it. But clearly you did see Tenmataro. Stop stalling and testify to that fact. No can do, no way, no how. You ain't got no idea how terrifying he can be. He? Mr. Filch still won't admit to seeing Tenmataro, even though everyone knows he did.
Oh man, sorry about that, Dave. We've been on here since when? About 6:30, 7? 6:30, yeah. 6:30.
The question now is why?
Mr. Filch is scared to death.
Is that why he can't admit the truth?
Come to think of it. They say you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will claim your soul. Trixie wouldn't admit to seeing Tenmataro after hearing about the village's superstition. She said that if she told anyone that she had seen Tenmataro, he'd claim her soul.
Wait, you think Filch believes that too? Ah, so Mr. Big Time City Slicker Lawyer has heard about him? Them old village superstitions?
Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about? I'll go back and look at it again. Ah, okay, no problem. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, we started the case today with a trial. I just wanted to do it just
forced me to
because.
do it. She locked me out. I don't want to do it. She chained me to the bed.
Silly.
The people of Nine Tails Vales believe some pretty strange things. And their superstitions may be the reason our witness here can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Tenmataro.
Why silly?
That's why, yeah, that's why. It's all right here. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. See? That's why us folks in Nine Tails Vale can't talk about seeing no Tenmataro.
Village superstitions added to the court record. Superstitions that have been handed down generation to generation in Nine Tails Vale. But I think I got more understanding in the trial than I did that just reading all that yesterday, Dave. Anyway.
That clears up one mystery. The killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tenmataro costume. They knew that they knew that way no one could talk about. Oh my god. They knew that way no one could talk about him, so it would be as if he never existed. The defense holds that this Tenmataro impersonator is the true killer.
What?
Objection!
Superstitions, you say? What kind of an idiot would actually believe such rubbish? And with that using some silly fairy tale could so easily expose the culprit. You'll need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
Your common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackwheel.
Objection!
Try living in my world of narrow sails, mortal danger, and dark sleepless nights. There is no lack of superstitions in the clink, but fewer those who truly believe in them.
Objection!
Well, the village superstitions are real enough to the people of Ninetales Vale. A life with that superstition might even make you a believer.
Order, I say.
You idiot of a Tanuki! 2 times now your fibs have cost me! Sorry! I promise not to do it again! Tucker, my fine feathered friend, have at him! Yikes! He's gonna eat me alive! Head for the hills! Ah, he took off.
The bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him, and with your fastest men. That's certainly not something you see every day. Well, it would seem a new and important fact has come to light. A third party disguised as the yokai Tenma Toro was at the scene. And now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to the fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill? Mr.
Oh.
What? Huh? Oh!
His shackles! I'm too young to die! Justice Dono, long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You had best say your prayers.
They let this dude out of prison. Let him out of prison and to be a prosecutor, really? Detective, do something!
Have no fear! Full Rider's here! When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going!
Right there, anyway.
Objection!
Then get going already before he kills us! Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackwheel, for it is his sense of justice that set him free!
Objection! I object to Detective Warbright's definition of justice.
Silence!
Humph. I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards.
Oh, well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackquill, can I ask you to,
I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. So, Justice Dono's assertion is this: Tenma Toro's the real killer, not mere Tenma. According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Right, and that yokai, or whether whoever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Kyubi.
Silence!
Care to explain why Jinxie, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai there in the Fox Chamber? What? He's right. She said nothing about Tenma Toro being in the Fox Chamber. Humph. Let me enlighten you.
That little scamp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door.
And your point is?
Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skilled murder victim, the Alderman. And the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor.
No! It must have been someone dressed up like Tim. Ah!
Then, why does that little scamp claim not to have seen a yokai in the Fox Chamber?
Considering her father is accused of murder, surely she wouldn't have mentioned any third party that might have been in the room.
I don't understand. Why didn't she see Tenma Toro inside the Fox Chamber?
There's but one way to find out. Ask Jinxie Tenma whether she saw you kill a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Uh-oh.
The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long has my blade thirsted for blood, at long last it shall be sated.
Wait, this is still a trial, right?
Show me what you're truly capable of. Justice don't owe!
It's too crazy.
Very well then, both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So the court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... Oh!
3 minutes.
I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess?
Just so. Plenty of time if your destination of intent is the loo.
Lou, you mean the bathroom?
Sheesh. At least include enough time to wash our hands.
See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished.
Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins. I declare Prosecutor Blackfield the winner of this round of Simon Says.
Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor is running the show, does it? That's not the end.
It's going on and on. April 18th, 10:40 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. He busted out his shackles.
Yeah, what was that all about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to.
Better be careful, Apollo. You really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenma Toro impersonator at the manor.
What's with that guy and the whole samurai act anyway? Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it's high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel. No, wait, let's save the dueling until after we prove you're innocent. I suppose it could wait till later. Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up.
Remember what Blackfield said, Apollo, don't be late. April 18th, 10:43 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 4. What's next? Never mind. Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at Kyubi Manor. I believe we can proceed now if the witness is ready, that is. Young, leader of the 100 demons, he really does exist. Wow, that is one well-polished tray. The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible. Eek! What is it, my child? Be gone! What's this number yon, leader of the 100 demons? Oh, you think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once known as a judicial monster of sorts. The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will. Eek! My charm has no effect. The demon is of due process. Not sure I can see that one.
Now, you little scamp.
I'll admit it. Yes.
I trust you know why you're here.
She answered to him. Bags?
Bags? Oh, that tricksy Tanuki. Try the noodle stand and go enjoy a big bowl of Tanuki tail noodles while you're at it. Everyone's a comedian.
No, I meant your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Asakura away.
Azukirai? Azukirai? The yokai that watches Suzuki beans? The only thing needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off.
Asakura often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore.
Is that so? Well, thank you.
Looks like Prosecutor Blackquill got more than he bargained for.
You're bad enough alone, but together those two are just plain creepy.
Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenma Taro when you discovered the crime scene. Witness testimony, what Jinxie saw. No, my eyes itchy, y'all. Did I see Tenma Tora in the fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room.
So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime?
Lots and lots of them.
Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenma Taro happen to be among them?
I don't know, I just don't know. All I know is the room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Narakabi, Takosha, they were all there.
Really? That's gonna sound like Taka.
Well, this is unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them.
This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony?
Hold it!
Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course. What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes.
You sure you know what you're doing, Athena?
She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed?
It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any valuable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land.
I'll show you. Did I see Tematora in the fox chamber? What are we supposed to do?
Keep going.
Well, when I opened the door, I saw. Now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room. Found something. Looks like an out of control emotion.
Athena, what exactly are we looking at here?
Oh, this one of witch's functions. Right there, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice.
Whoa, you mean that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? And here I thought it was just some kid's toy.
Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. Did I see Tematora? See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left. She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the sheer terror she's experienced has made her a confused.
So, all those yokai she thinks she saw are a product of rampant emotions?
Yes, that's right. Her fear has instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucinations brought on by emotional trauma. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear.
So she was and still is seeing ordinary objects as yokai.
We'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now let's see. Apollo, can you point out the yokai on the wheel of fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start by pressing probe or L.
Not yet.
Next point to what's causing Jinxie's out of control emotion. Finally, hit probe again to try and get to the heart of the matter.
Okay, let's give this a try. Okay. There was this little boy named Nate. He had a watch, and he said it was called a yokai watch. I was like, that's crazy. Then he put a medal in it, and some like a red cat came out, and the rat shook. Jinxie, what's the name for that yokai on the wheel of fire?
That's Akasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the aldermans.
It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation.
Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patients can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaken for Kasha. Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai on a wheel of fire.
I think I know the answer now.
Was it those chandeliers?
Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha? I think we gotta think about this right quick, Mama. Okay, we gotta think about this. Okay, this is a really hard question.
What you got to think about?
So it was on the wheel of fire, right?
Really?
Yeah, it was on a wheel of fire. What? Okay, but like, that's the fire could be symbolic. Okay, it could have been symbolic. You got it wrong.
The light fixture?
This one right here. It has a flame design and it's up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on the Wheel of Fire. The costume you saw was just a light fixture.
Eek! That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest.
Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster?
That's Narakabi. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray.
That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen.
Eek!
And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. It's just a statue of one.
Eek!
And look, they're just coffee cups. And this right here is nothing more than a fox statue. Bring your noise.
Noise level 50%. You did it, Apollo. Her extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all. See? A clear-cut statement. That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber.
Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion?
Wait, Jinxie, what about Tenmataro?
There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tina Toro or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now.
You
Yo,
joking!
order in the court.
I think we've just dug our own grave.
Allow me to push you on in. It's the least I could do.
No!
Apollo, I can interrupt I can interrupt you for just a minute. I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion.
Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet?
Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run an update. There in the Fox Chamber, I saw the alderman dead on the table and Papa collapsed in the chair. Nobody else was there, and that includes Tima Toro. Wait, Alicia.
What am I supposed to do?
Try to find the emotions that contradict her statements.
So if I find a contradictory emotion, I should point it out?
That's right, but it's not just contradictory emotions you should look out for. You should also keep an eye out for sudden changes in the emotion's intensity. Her emotions might get stronger or weaker as you move from statement to statement. It's important to compare how the same emotion changes throughout the testimony.
Contradictory emotions and changes in intensity. Okay, I'll give it a shot.
They doing too much, y'all. Did I see Tima Toro in the Fox Chamber? Let me see. What they want us to do?
How to find changes in the intensity of her emotion.
Nobody else was there, and that includes Tim Matora. Well, this is the highest right here. I don't know what we doing.
We have to find the big change in intensity. It's 3.
It's 3 of them.
It's 3. No, I'm talking
It's this one here?
Yeah. You notice how like the sadness is like really low?
What you got to do?
You gotta go to the blue one.
Got it!
The amount of fear you felt is rather low despite your legs having given out from fright. Did something have lessened your fear?
Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment.
You did? Where did it come from?
Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter a sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look. And Paulo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. I don't know what they doing with this new thing. Anyway.
A sudden burst of courage? Now where could that have come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage?
Yes, there was, but, I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage?
Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like that at the cream of I wonder if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with this?
My goodness. I guess this right here, huh?
Yeah.
Take that!
Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a 9-tails flower at the scene, did you?
Ah, the demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of 9-tails flower on it. I liked it so much, I kept it.
You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene?
That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will produce the witness will produce said evidence this instant. Sorry. It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key.
Might I have a look, your baldness? This is none other than the master key to QB Manor.
Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackquill?
It matches the serial number and the key that went missing after the murder. A master key? That went missing? Well, I don't like the sound of that. A little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think? Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Go, She was the sole person who could have used it before, during, and after the murder. Which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl.
And your point is?
Until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox chamber with a key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world. And there was no one there save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable! No!
Objection!
How could this happen? The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations.
Athena, are you alright?
Ugh, I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do.
This sucks.
Sucks, Dono. Allow me to put you out of your misery.
Can I decline your offer?
Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept.
Great. Now he's playing Simon Says with us.
Well, he's not gonna trick us with his stupid mind games.
Athena, don't fall for his tricks.
Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight.
Hey, are you alright? She fell right into his trap.
Now I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed.
All right, I'll be back in 10.
Stay with me, Athena! Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai!
Apollo. Mr. Justice, I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to?
Oh, alright. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. Though I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena.
The court is waiting, Mr. Justice, though as if it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect if this is it. Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case?
Well, actually, I do! I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine!
Apollo, you do have something more than your course of steel, don't you?
Not really, but we'll be fine!
But
I've got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before! I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Because it's all over if I don't!
Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box.
Or in this case, inside the box. And what a doozy that locked room is, too.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's arguments?
You bet I do! The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another!
Vague conjecture should only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono.
Or time to do or die, literally.
The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room. You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened?
I'm fine! We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so?
The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there is a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, yes it is, Game Queen 81. The forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out.
Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best.
2 hours and 17 minutes.
We need to rule out all of the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here.
You throwing it to me?
Come on! You don't know?
Nope, I don't know.
You should know! How you don't know?
I'm good with it. Are you dang? Look, I'm about ready to get off of this stream. Let me see. I don't know.
It's so obvious, he literally just told you. He did a backflip American Ninja Warrior style.
Whatever. Why is this phone right here?
That's the phone she called the police from.
This is where they were, the Fox Chamber.
Yep, they was in the Fox Chamber. They had their foxes in there.
The air duct, I guess. I don't know.
Nope, not the air duct. Keep it simple. Simple.
Out the door then.
Yes, not that door.
I'm talking about the.
Not the forbidden chamber.
What is right here?
That's the window.
Okay, here's the door.
That's the door.
This the door they walked out of?
That's the front door.
They didn't go out of there?
That's the door.
It was locked, was it?
Was it?
I don't know. I thought they said it was locked.
How else could you escape?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What's the most plausible way you could escape?
Besides the door or the
door.
Take that!
The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out.
It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on scene was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox Chamber and then lock it without a key? I should have seen this coming.
Remember, Apollo, keep it simple.
Simple, right. I can understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but...
Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese still waiting unless you explain yourself quickly.
I'm fine! I can explain myself! The reason the Fox Chamber's hallway door was locked was because...
The Tenma locked it is from the inside.
Tenma did it. Ghost is real, by the way.
It locked on its own. The perp locked it up from the outside. What did she say? She found that key in the inside? It locked on its own?
No.
Well, I guess Tenma locked it from the inside. That's not it?
Tenma is not real.
I'm talking about the mayor.
Oh wait, yeah, that's what. Well, no, why would he do that?
I don't know. The perp locked it from the outside?
Imagine you just killed two folks.
But the key was in the inside, was it?
You keep going, keep going.
What you mean?
You gonna explain it. What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway door and then locked it out. Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that room is blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room. I said exciting.
Exciting the room?
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside. But the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction.
If only we can explain both. Like how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from the outside.
Well, let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackfield draws his sword. How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked tight? Slipped it when the door was open, threw it in from outside, changed the lock.
Alright, we're gonna have a whole operation, guys. After I kill him, we're gonna change the lock. We're gonna change the entire door.
Threw it in from the outside.
Yeah.
Cause I remember them saying that the air vent from the outside room was lower. Right.
She finally starting to understand.
I remember some things from yesterday.
What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go at the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window? That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There's a cliff outside the Fox Chamber's window. Throwing the key in from there is an impossibility. Oh, right. Ugh.
Wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window.
Somewhere other than the window? Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window? Can you say hola? Can you say hola?
The air duct.
The air duct.
Take that!
The air vent?
Yes! The window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not!
Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air duct leads out into the hallway.
That's right! The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox Chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber! Ugh. That's preposterous!
Oh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly. Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused.
Don't worry. I'll explain it so even Your Honor can understand. First, the real killer disguised as Tenmataro murdered the alderman in the Fox Chamber. Then, they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent ceiling in there. All that was left to do after that was go back through the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any more clearer?
Amazing, even I could follow that. The judge seems really pleased.
That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenmataro. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, looks like that lawyer has been the jailbird prosecutor. Well, that was a total turnabout.
Massive forehead over here seems. I couldn't even see it. So much more attractive now. Order, 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 I say.
Now that I've proved a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence.
A valiant effort, Justice Dono, but your final thrust missed its mark. Huh? Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw that yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and watch right out the front door? That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the... Ouch! But that is impossible without being spotted by the foyer security camera, that is. The electronic eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sign of Tenmataro anywhere in the security footage. What? Save for the foyer entrance, there's no other way to flee the manor, is there?
I don't feel so good.
Hold it!
Wait, I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera.
Hey, you're right.
Silence.
Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only It seems you lack not only brains, but investigative prowess to boot. That is the cliffside of the manor. The only killer escaping that would be a dead one.
No!
Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window?
What? Right? I suppose your next proposal is that the killer spreaded wings and flew off into the sunset.
That would mean the killer really was a yokai.
If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer.
Who's saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be.
What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly?
Whoa! I thought I was the one with the cords of steel.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Your Honor?
What evidence do you have that the killer flew away? 2 hours and 30 minutes, Game Queen 81.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Alright, this is the last one. Though.
He got wings.
He got wings. He got wings. Your Honor, he has wings. Look at this picture. He got wings.
This thing right here was captured on camera around 3:40 near Nine Tails Fell.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
He got wings. He got wings. Your Honor, he got wings. I don't know.
Should I present that?
Yeah.
Take that!
Take a look at this special edition paper.
Team Toro, real or flight or fancy? Let me read that again. Tenmataro, real or flight or fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice?
The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fled out the window?
Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting.
Oh, I'm serious. I mean it. All adds up. The killer disguised as Tenmataro flew away. You know, by some way or another.
Silence.
It is your brain that has flown the coop. That image is not but trick photography or some other form of artifice. Okay, then how about the Tenma Toro figure, Mr. Filkshaw? It just vanished into thin air? No, there is a rational, common-sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai, our Nuki witness, never reached the entrance.
I accidentally put you on mute, my bad.
He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye.
She? I don't like where this is going one bit.
Now, the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at that time.
Not good. Not good at all.
Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Tenma Toro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma! Ah! No!
Order, the defense will stop competing for the greatest crazy out ever.
The little scamp was no doubt simply trying to protect her father. And it's no wonder that our superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade.
Prosecutor Blackwell's assertions make perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out the window.
Did you truly believe this could end any other way?
We fall right into his trap.
What do we do now, Apollo?
Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one.
Bailiff, seize her. This time I interrogated her as the samurai of your wood.
Mayor Tenma?
This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul?
Tenma Toro's true identity is...
Now, Mr. Mayor, it would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you have been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce.
Confess? The defendant intends to confess?
Wait.
Apollo, Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again.
Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words! If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone!
The real killer is...
Mayor Tenma's going to... Mayor Tenma's going to confess unless we do something.
But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away.
Look upon upon me in despair, for ripe is the time for my return.
Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for.
Gah, gah, gah! Stupid mortals! I am Tenmataro, the yokai you seek!
Mayor Tenma?
Silence! I am Tenmataro, freed from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber. Behold, the return of the Demon King!
All right, Ganon.
What?
Demon King. Well then, I think it's time for take a vacation. This is my goodness, Game Queen. This case that took a real turn, hasn't it? The witness will, he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenmataro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time?
Indeed, it is I, Tenmataro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenmataro, you say? Ha! What nonsense!
So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now?
Gah! 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 His body is now mine!
So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that the yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Filch saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you?
The accursed power of these warding charms prevents me from revealing my true form.
Your baldness!
Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt?
Well, confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented. What's the word? Lord, how do you unprecedented? I can't even pronounce the word, Jesus.
Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned.
Huh? What?
You claimed that the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party, the true killer. The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber, but it was the accused all along.
Ugh!
They done lost me.
Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking. For the Alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma, and the yokai at the scene? That too was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenmataro. The pieces have all fallen into place.
How so, Prosecutor Blackwheel?
It seems I must spell it out loud for you. Mayor Tenma killed the Alderman in the Fox Chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warding charms from the Forbidden Chamber's door. But then fell unconscious from the blow the Alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter Jinxie Tenma stumbled on the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenmataro, freed at last from the charm's warding effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenmataro then fled the Fox Chamber. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenmataro.
Objection!
But when we arrived on the scene, the mayor was found unconscious.
How is that possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window? Then what? Do you mean to say that the maid of Kyubi Manor, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenmataro?
Oh,
Gah, gah, gah! That too is easily explained. Flew about for a time, did I? But presently tired, I made for the forbidden chamber. But alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the fox chamber, and I knew no more. It would seem the pieces are still in place.
Is Blackwell up to his tricks again?
I don't know what to say. Is the defendant a real live?
So that rumor about Mary Tenma is true? I knew yokai were real!
You mean he really did kill the alderman just so he could release Tenma Taro?
Order. Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai.
It's Simon Says on steroids! He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai!
The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, your baldness.
This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mary Tenma is just pretending to be Tenma Taro to protect his daughter! Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature!
Since both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice but to...
Silence!
Humph. This is the dark age of the law, where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a ploy to gain time for him to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning, Justice Dono.
Objection!
Oh, wait, no. I won't fabricate any evidence!
Silence!
Then prove it by joining me. A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation.
How about I just promise not to succumb to anything?
We have both evidence and a confession. The killer is the yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but...
What's wrong? What's wrong with him? Prosecutor Blackwell, we've had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that.
What in the devil was that? Fulbright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner?
Ha 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 ha! It seems you found that quite shocking. It's my special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave.
You shall pay for this. I summon Blackwell about to...
Your Honor! You need not fear now! I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain on his best behavior.
A bit late with the reassurances, aren't we, Detective?
Well, in that case, this concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned. I'm not even finally. Goodness gracious.
It went off the rails.
To be continued. Anyway, guys.
That was long, bro. I ain't expected we got long. You ain't feel that long.
Man.
How long we been out here?
2 hours and 46 minutes.
That was almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours. You know I be tired after 1 hour. Yes, anyway, Dave. Anyway. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. Y'all can tell my voice that went out. It's gone all the way out. All right, and yeah, I guess I'll talk to you all on the next one. Thank you, Game Queen 81. We had Yeety in the chat, Dave. Yeah, and everyone else that's watching, I appreciate it. Also, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I appreciate it if you go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you don't mind hitting that like button for me, I'd appreciate it. I guess I'll get y'all to the rest of y'all Friday night. I thought I was going to be off this stream so I could just chill, you know. Get some Cosby Show tonight. This got me on here almost 3 hours, but anyway.
I was trying to cheer. She forced me to do
I will talk to you all. I will talk to you all on the next one. You all take care.